Oh, wait.
We're live.
There.
Oh.
Oh, okay. So we're live.
Excellent. Wow.
Yay. I forgot I always start with the beautiful Starfleet Boy, cover screen or whatever you want to call it. Anyways, hello, Commander Blair. Welcome back.
Commander
We're live
Blair.
now. Commander Blair. What's your starship called?
Oh, can I get back to you on that one?
Yes.
Just think about it.
I nominate that we be on the USS Ferocia.
The USS what?
I think that should be our ship. The Ferocia.
Oh, okay.
All right, that's getting cool. So if you're tuning into this now, we don't have any. The thing doesn't say that we have any audience members, but I'll correct that by sharing it. So let me get the share links for both of us. The Facebook's one's weird. Are you on Blair? Are you on the Starfleet Boy Facebook group?
I don't think so. I don't go on Facebook much anymore. So.
Oh, okay. Then don't worry about that one. That one's already happening, and you have to go to it to share it. So don't worry about that one. I'm going to send you the YouTube link, and maybe you can help get us some views and audience by. Ooh, someone's here by sharing it on Twitter. So I'm about to get that link. While we do that, what we're going to do is watch All Good Things together. We're going to just kind of react and comment, just like a kind of like a director's commentary, but we're not the directors of it. So it's just like fan commentary, I guess. Right.
Yeah.
So for audience, the two audience members who are here now, if you want to get your version of All Good Things ready and queued up, you can actually do it with us. So it might be one or two people who do it with us, but I'll explain again before we start, just so that anyone who's viewing at that time will be able to do it. The fun thing also is that even after we record this, anyone who's watching this, because we're going to say we're starting right now, can do it and watch at any time. So it's very meta in that way.
Amazing.
I think. All right. I found my live link on YouTube, and I'm gonna grab that link. Oh, I hope I don't hear myself. All right, there we go. It's always on a delay, so it's always kind of crazy. All right, and Blair, on our end, there's a private chat. Do you see it?
I do. Yeah.
All right, there's your link.
Beam it up.
While I'm sharing it, tell the audience who you are and what you do.
Who am I? I'm a guy. I live in Toronto, and I've been sort of like a lifelong Star Trek fan for sure. I'm a graphic designer by trade, and yeah, I've had a lifelong obsession with all things Star Trek. So I even brought this is actually my partner's, but
I was hoping I was going to prompt you if you didn't do it. Yes.
Phaser, which apparently is actually like a prop from the show. Maybe not TNG because it's got this curve. I think it's from Voyager, but it's like authenticated.
It was used on the show.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't have any lights or anything on it. I think it's just one of those like when the security people need one, they're like, here you go. This one doesn't actually need to light up, but it was a purchase on eBay that was like made in a mad frenetic, oh my god, I want to buy this now, and then like 20 hours later it's like, why didn't I buy those? But, anyway.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think it's a great thing to have.
Yeah. we hide these around the condo, and we're like, who's gonna find the phaser in a random place now? Just because what else are you gonna do with them, really?
All right, I'm going to do a hashtag. I'm inspired by TOS Saturday night. So I'm going to do TNG Saturday night as our hashtag for this, and Star Trek, of course. All right, so I'm tweeting it out, and hold on. One more thing. There we go. All right, done. Now we can start. We're a little behind schedule, but I think we'll be fine. All right, so are you ready to press play on the count of 3? Shall we do it?
Yes, let's do this.
1, 2, 3, play.
All right.
The doors just open. Holodeck,
Yeah.
right? All right, we're in
Troy's
sync.
wearing
I
her
love
pink outfit.
it. They were at the Black Sea. I didn't remember that.
Ocean breeze. So poetic.
Stimulating, of course, it was. Oh my gosh! So, what did you think of Worf and Troy?
I mean, interesting coupling, but sure, why not? Like, Riker had enough women in his days on the show. Give Deanna a little, like, although because she had so many terrible relationships on the show. Like, Worf's a good guy.
Worf was a good relationship. It just fizzled away though. They didn't do anything with it in the movies.
Yeah.
There was a reference to it, I think, in
Yeah.
First Contact.
Well, he did get transferred to DS9, so maybe
That's
Deanna
it.
was like, I am not going there. I'm staying here. Thank you very much.
That place is a dump.
Did you see the holodeck pictures of it? I'm not going there.
Here he is. Four 7-9-8-8.
I think it's May 23rd here.
It is. This blew my mind when they did this. I was so excited, and Captain Picard is all kinds of crazy in this episode, if I recall correctly. We are going to watch the opening credits.
Obviously. For the last time, 26 years ago. Do you remember where you were when you saw the show?
I remember where I lived. I remember where I was. I was in high school. I think I was let's see, what was 26 years ago? 1993?
Sure. 1994. 1994.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I was in high school. So I was in like the 10th grade.
Okay.
When this happened. Or I was in the summer in between 9th and 10th grade, somewhere around there. And I remember watching it on TV and just crying like a pathetic little baby that my Star Trek The Next Generation was over.
I remember I think I was in grade 9. And a friend of my parents had a big screen TV. Like, at the time, it was like no one had these things. And it was probably like 56 inches or something like that, or larger. And he invited us over to watch it there, and it was just such a like cinematic experience to have it on this big
amazing
screen TV, not my 23-inch little thing at home.
We saw it on a huge rear projection. You remember those rear projection televisions? My father is and was a AV enthusiast, so we always had like the nice stereo and everything like that. So he cranked up the volume to like as high as it was tolerable, and like you really heard like exactly like what you described. So I'm glad we both experienced it in a similar way. Oh, we got a heart and a like.
Yeah, hearts and likes.
Yeah. So now he's downloading Counselor Troy.
Trying to figure what's going on.
I love that there's tulips in her quarters. Yeah, I like that robe too. It's very Christmas Carol, like Scrooge a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Which Sir Patrick played later.
I was wondering, we were talking about this the other day watching it, the flowers on the ship and the plants and all that kind of stuff. When the ship rocks and gets hit by something, do they all fall over and like people come back to their quarters and they're like, oh crap?
For sure. And we also found out that the computer like manages cleanup. So actually, before you even make it back to your computer, the computer would have like used tractor beams and transporter technology to clean it all up. Yeah, it's crazy. Yay, Ali Martinez is here. Ali
from Japan
says, glad I can tune in. Yeah. Thanks for doing all these awesome live streams coming up on 7 a.m. in Japan. We'll get Star Trek TNG All Good Things on your on your device. I'll tell you the timestamp we're at. I'll give timestamp checks. I guess that's a good way to get folks to come in. But we're at 1:27, counting down. 1 hour and 27 minutes away from the end. Wait, I just
We're somewhere in that time here.
we're 5 minutes and 31 seconds into it. Here it is, the inspiration for Star Trek Picard. So we just got Jean-Luc transported to the vineyard in France.
Yeah.
And he's an old man. And I love this. I love how close it is to. It's different, but it's not. It's very close to Picard.
It's nice that they had that tie-in. Obviously, that would make sense for him to get back to the vineyards.
This vineyard's huge. Like you could tell how long it goes on. So he could be on like a far, it kind of fits because he could be at like the far end of the vineyard where you don't see the house in the background and stuff.
Oh, for sure. But he's totally in the Napa Valley right now, right?
Yeah. That's where he is. Exactly. Look at LeVar Burton.
Good.
It's funny that they aged them here, and now in Picard, they're the age that they're supposed to be here in All Good Things, which is really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, 25 years. Well, I guess last year would have been. It's 26 this year, right?
Yeah, it's 26 this year. So the 25th anniversary was last year.
It's so funny. Time flies.
I can't believe we have 25 years of distance from when we first saw this episode to now.
It's crazy how much time.
Howie, we're glad you're here. Let me know if anyone in the audience needs a time check. So here Geordi has actual eye implants instead of his visor, which is pretty cool too.
Mm-hmm.
And of course they did that in First Contact.
Yeah. Yeah. What was your favorite movie post show? TNG movie?
I think I always go back to First Contact, but I really like them all so much. But I think, yeah, First Contact's probably my favorite.
Agreed.
What about, yeah, so you agree. So.
yeah, I think First Contact was the best one. Although I do like Generations, I have to say. It's a very special movie. Yeah, there's a nice crossover, a nice sort of like handing off of the old crew to the new one.
Which is, I think it's such a good, I don't know, it's such a good thing to have. It kind of shows continuity in a nice way, like, which is great.
Yeah.
Jean-Luc's style was much better in Picard than it is here. I don't think he would. I wouldn't wear that stuff if I
were a bigger budget for better costumes.
Kudos to the people who worked on these costumes, though. They were great for the time.
It's funny, like I was saying earlier, we're going through each season right now, right? So we're in season 5, and it's season 5 really, that's I think the word, hits its stride. Like the showrunners were great, the stories were really well told, the writing was excellent, some really interesting stuff. It's funny to watch it from like the beginning to the end and just see how much it's progressed. Oh,
what's happening?
It's
those guys. I love the music. These angles are great too. They're all like outdoor stuff. I like Insurrection, but I feel like it gets a lot of crap. I do feel like the humor is really forced in the movie, though. I love Insurrection too. I think it needs a remaster. Like the special effects need to be revamped, and Jonathan Frakes should get his director's cut while they're at it. I think there's probably a better cut in his vault somewhere. Here's Tasha back, and she looks the same as in this episode to me. This is so great to see her as Tasha.
Encounter at
Farpoint. Yep.
Yeah, I don't think she aged at all in the 7 years.
I mean, that's untrue, but I think that's accurate. Like 7 years passed, but for her, it does seem like time did not touch her. Look at her. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I like that Jean-Luc is like so startled. And like just like appreciating kind of this moment that he sees her.
So another question about the oh wait. Uh
This is like the glorious shot that we never got of the first time we see the Enterprise, or the first time
yeah.
Picard sees the Enterprise, which is really cool.
I enjoy those like moments of seeing the ship for the first time. So I saw someone put a meme on about how like I can't believe we've been in quarantine as long as this shot's been going on, and it's the first shot of the Enterprise in the original
That's like
movie.
such, I saw that Dayton Ward, I think, gets the credit
Yeah, okay.
for sharing that. I don't think he created it, but he shared it and it went viral. Or at least what I think of as viral. I mean, nowadays you get tweets that get like a million retweets and stuff. So that was crazy. So commercial break. Now we're back in sick bay,
Yeah.
and Picard's trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Can you imagine what it's like traveling in your own timeline, but as the current consciousness of you, but traveling back in time throughout your whole history? I mean, it's a really wild concept. I always love this idea.
Well, this is the episode of oh my god, we just watched it. The one with Kelsey Grammer.
Oh, that's a great one. Star Trek suggested I watch it, and I haven't done it yet. So I got Star Trek: The Official Account. I was asking what
Oh,
Star Trek I'm watching this weekend, and I said I'd like you to pick for me. So it's called Cause and Effect.
that's it. Cause and effect. So it's that idea of like reliving the same 17 days over and over again, but kind of remembering that something was happening. Like it's a really cool concept. But
This is wild because
oh,
only Jean-Luc is experiencing the time travel, and so it's
yeah,
weird because he doesn't remember it doing it, but then he's doing it for the first time. It's just so wild. It's
yeah, yeah.
it's already like crazy to think about it.
This is also where we found out that he's got this.
Oh, the advanced aromatic syndrome. Yeah,
Yes. There it is.
that was a kind of like a wish that I had, is that I wish we had seen Beverly, and that she was trying to treat
Mm.
Jean-Luc in the future, in what, in Picard. I'm okay with that she's not there, but her absence was felt. I really enjoyed their relationship, and look, you
I
see
know,
it
I know.
in the performance here. It's like so wonderful, and they're like, just, you could tell they're so fond of each other.
Yeah, it would have been great to have her.
This is also a crazy way to end a series, is to injure the main character in some way, by him having this like time limit on his life. Like, it was pretty heavy, and like you could see everyone reacting to it in
Mm-hmm.
character, in that way. And it's kind of a, I remember being like so worried when I was a kid about Captain Picard and what was going to happen to him.
I just noticed. Sorry, Jennifer, but I just noticed that he was walking through sick bay in bare feet, which is
it's
amazing.
it's amazing.
It's just, I mean, obviously the Enterprise is very clean, but
But it is pretty amazing. And I really love his pajamas. I
I
think I need
know.
to find something like that. In the Deveron system, they have to go there.
It's,
Just for anyone who's tuned in and trying to synchronize, I think it's a good time to tell you that we're 14 minutes and 2 seconds, 43, 44, 45. So we're around, that's our relative location at this time. Did you get the Admiral's name?
no,
I didn't either.
missed his name.
I'd-
There's so many admirals in Starfleet.
There's a lot. Oh, here we are back in the future. That's so good. Such good
Yeah.
acting. There's some of this person in his portrayal of Picard, like losing your temper a little bit, and like, Sir Patrick Stewart brought, I think, a little bit of this person, of this version of Picard, to his performance in Picard. When we're quiet, audience, it's because we're so compelled.
Yes.
By
I just forgot that we're watching it with people.
Along with LeVar Burton and everyone else, all his scene partners.
That's a good question. Who would you bring back?
I'm really leaning towards Rolaren also, but I would also just love to see Denise Crosby's character Sela, the Romulan character she played, come back as well. I think it would be interesting. Just from a reunion perspective, it would be a good way, since you can't have Tasha, you could have her. But I always lean towards the cheesy things. Oh, here they are. We're about to. They're all yelling at Jean-Luc.
So bad.
That's a great question, Ali.
It is. I would agree with Ro. I think that would be really great to see her back again. Partly because I love Michelle Forbes as an actress. She's great. I would also say Beverly. I'd like to see Crusher come back.
I think she's a must, and she's not a secondary, right? We gotta consider.
That's true. She's primary. Sorry, you're right.
Yeah, but I agree with the Beverly thing too.
Or one of the ensigns that was on the comms panel that you didn't really get to know.
Look at Oxford of the Future. It's a very nice matte painting.
It is. I also love that Data is like this professor with a cat.
And he has like kind of created like a Sherlock Holmes real life situation. Like he has like what's her name serving him tea. He's like, he's got these like a smoking chair. He's wearing his smoking jacket.
It's so funny. I love the like streak of gray in his hair. Now that he's
professor. Look, Data would have been. Think about this for a second. We lost Data in Nemesis, but had he lived, this is very much so in character. He would have totally have been this guy right here. And I kind of feel sad that he never got the wife. Even his like fake holographic world that his consciousness was in was modeled after kind of this environment, and he was wearing at the end when he dies, he's wearing a smoking jacket. Like it's super sad. Yeah,
it's very sad.
This is such a. I love this episode because I think that the writers really paid a lot of attention to this when they were writing Picard. I just feel like that.
Oh, for sure. They did their research definitely and try to figure out how do we tie everything that sort of ended with TNG and bring it back.
Although I'm glad Jean-Luc doesn't have a beard in the future. I like beards, but
yeah, doesn't quite suit him.
Not that kind of beard.
I don't feel like he would be the one that'd be like, and now I'm gonna grow a beard.
That's true. This is cool. It's like one last, they all are paying attention to Jean-Luc, and like they all want to do everything they can to help him. I think it's very sweet. Except Riker. I think Riker's very bitter. We'll see that later on.
Yes.
Professor Ripper. Isn't that the name of the tardigrade in Discovery? Maybe he comes back as a professor.
Oh, it's entirely possible.
Oh, here we are. This is so cool. Look, there's O'Brien. O'Brien was in Encounter at Farpoint. You see him in the battle bridge.
Yeah.
Look, Troy in her old everyone in their old uniform, they all still fit really well.
Those little skirts. They had a couple. There were like a couple of them in the first episodes. They wore those skirts, men and women.
right?
And then
Yeah.
they go, I'd like to know who in Starfleet is like, okay, we're gonna change the costume or the uniforms again, because I feel like it happens more often than we think it does.
It does. It really does, actually. You're right. This is where it gets. This is where it's. I get excited in this part. Oh, Admiral Sati got a reference. She was the admiral who wrote the orders.
Yes.
That was cool. She comes back in the episode The Drumhead, which I think you've already seen
Mm-hmm.
in your rewatch.
Also, did you notice that the shuttlecraft that he comes out of, they don't introduce that shuttlecraft, I think, until season 5.
Oh,
It's not the like really bulky one.
the bulby looking one. Yeah, you're right.
Or the
Oh yeah,
little
you're right.
pod.
What happened to those? Because we don't see They could have. One was just used and then trashed or something.
Maybe they blew them all up.
The actual set one never looked like the model 100%.
Yeah.
It was a lot bulkier when they had it on the sets.
Yeah.
That's true. Really gave Denise Crosby a good, like the right, I'm glad they're giving her emphasis here, and like it makes sense because like Commander Riker hadn't been on yet. So I got a question from Allie. I love questions.
Favorite shuttle design? These are great questions.
All the series.
I really like
That is a good.
the. I'm always terrible with the names, but the one that Paris had in Voyager.
Is that like a Delta Flyer or something like that?
Flyer,
Like
yeah.
that.
But if we're not thinking that kind of stuff, then the shuttlecrafts, I think the one that they just came out of was probably my favorite design.
That one's probably one of the best ones. I think I really love, and they're similar in design. By the way, I have that one at my desk all the time.
Nice.
So I really love that one.
Yeah.
And the backside that we see, the familiar backside. Um, it's between that one and the one in Star Trek V, the shuttle that they had in Star Trek V. I don't know why I really love that one.
I don't remember that one.
Remember they crash landed the Enterprise? What about yours, Allie? What's your favorite shuttlecraft? I'd like to know. And audience, anyone tuned in? He's like trying to right? At this point. And they're like a little shocked. This is
Chief. He's not a chief yet, right?
I guess he would be a chief still, but that means he's like he's never been promoted.
But so he had one pip on, so that means he's an ensign, isn't it?
Oh, I guess you could be a chief and an ensign.
Yeah.
Maybe chief's like a special role. That's a really good point. I wonder if that's a mistake. We should find out.
Inconsistencies, or he did something really bad and got demoted.
Oh, they explained it right here. He is an ensign, but he refers to him as chief. That's a nice scene.
Mm.
Colomini is so great in this scene. That's a nice moment to give Colomini too. I think that was wonderful.
Yeah.
The Galileo 7. This one.
I have a Christmas ornament of that one.
Is this the Galileo? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. There's Data's
chest hair there. Like,
It's Data was experimenting with chest hair.
I love watching these shows in HD.
This scene is giving me goosebumps, even though we're not fully paying attention to it. Like, just again, Sir Patrick Stewart, like, he's seeing them, like, if they're, like, we're seeing them for the first time again, which is extraordinary.
Yeah.
They're pulling, I'm getting all crazy right now. I need to turn off my emotion chip.
Yeah.
Brent Spiner has nailed it here. He's like Data season 1. Audience, Blair, who's your favorite TNG character? I think I've asked you, but I'm sorry. Forgive me if I have before. But Allie, anyone in the audience?
Favorite TNG character? I always had a crush on Deanna, like when I was a kid, and I saw her at a convention in Buffalo. I drove down there to go, and I was like shocked to see her in like a leather jacket and that she rode motorcycles. It's like this is the antithesis of who you play on the show. But
I know she's just great on Twitter. I love following her tweets and everything like that. I've yet to meet her in real life, but I'm excited for that opportunity at some point.
my I can't remember if I told you, my friend Grace, who was in the first episode of Discovery. No, sorry, the second episode, not the premiere, but the second episode. So she lives in LA now, and she got to go to the premiere of Picard, and was sitting in the row with Maria Curtis and Gates McFadden and Brent Spiner.
Oh my gosh!
Photo with all of them.
What a lucky duck!
I know. She was texting me, and I was like freaking out.
It's amazing. Brent Spiner was Data season 1, and now he's Data season 7, and like it's all in. It's edited so beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
It's like such a treat when you're watching this.
Yeah.
But for primary character, Tasha. So this must be great in All Good Things to see Tasha again. Tasha is like one of those things that makes me so sad that Denise Crosby at the time made the decision to leave, and they had to. I wish they didn't kill her off though, but still.
It's interesting that she like
a dramatic moment.
It's interesting that she said she wouldn't, like, she made the right decision and that she's fine with it. That's awesome. But I wish we had seen the evolution of who Tasha was. Right? I feel like they just started scratching the surface of like she had so much backstory to delve into, and
it's so true.
We'll never know.
A lot of trauma. I think she could have helped. Her character could have helped people with trauma. I don't know how your colors are. They're probably the same as mine, but like the reds and the blues are so beautiful in season 7. I love the way the uniform fits Sir Patrick there. Look at him. He looks so good.
He does.
He's like such an icon of fashion now, but back then no one knew.
Well, the TV guide cover where he's like this with other
right. We saw his guns.
Yeah, guns out.
Oh look, it's tearing.
Oh.
My uniform. This is not a real. It's just a hoodie. Underneath, I'm wearing my University of Pennsylvania.
Very nice. I do remember, like, as a kid, the cup that he would normally have, the glass one with the black rim handle.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I think we had some. I think my parents had some, or it was, I don't know. I remember seeing them as a kid, and be like, "These are the ones that the card uses." I know my favorite drink is Earl Grey. I do love Earl Grey tea.
Earl Grey is so cool, so good, and I 100% discovered it because of Jean-Luc Picard. I I don't know if they're still around, but if you're ever in Boston, there's a place called Tea Lux that has an Earl Grey called Creme de la Earl Grey, and I think that's a very fine Earl Grey.
Oh, Earl Grey, cream of Earl Grey is one of my favorites, and I just ordered some actually.
Nice.
Nice and smooth.
I like it when the lavender flowers are in it and stuff like that.
Let's talk about tea now.
Yes. What is the Star Trek memorabilia? Ooh, I forgot. What? Did this happen? I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, Alex, we just saw Beverly kiss Jean-Luc. And if you were wondering, audience, at what point we're at, that's a good time to check. It's at 30-40.
He looks very
roughly
flustered.
30-40. Yeah, I was flustered too. I got like totally like taken by that. So what is the Star Trek memorabilia that you own that you treasure the most? Also, is there a piece of memorabilia you wish you could have?
Well, you know this, Sahil, but I have so I wrote a script when I was 12, I think, for TNG or earlier, and sent it in because Star Trek was one of the only studios, or Paramount was one of the only studios that would accept unsolicited scripts. I had no idea what I was doing when I wrote it. It was like 26 pages, not formatted properly. Anyway, it was this whole thing. But I got a response back from Brandon Braga. It was a package that had 2 signed scripts, the writer's technical guide, what else? It had
I'm trying to remember.
The episode guide. He sent the little like trading cards that they had at the time that was signed by him, and a really, really lovely 2-page letter encouraging me to keep writing. And sorry, we can't use your script right now, but keep going. It's somewhere in my parents' storage locker, I think. But to this day, will always remember that.
I mean, this can't top that, so I'm glad you went first. But but this right now is my current favorite desk.
Oh,
crystal that he has.
Yeah.
So it's a replica of that, and it was officially licensed. You could get it on Roddenberry.com.
Oh.
StarTrek.com was selling it too. But if you look carefully, it's the same old, or it's modeled after that same crystal. And so I like it. And there's a few times where, Picard's holding it and he does stuff like this. And so I'll occasionally do the same thing and just like tap myself in the head or whatever. And I always think if worst comes to someone breaks in our house and I have to defend myself, it could totally be a good
turn into Buffy.
What better way to turn into what's his face? Jason Bourne than with your Picard desk crystal. Here's Riker.
Old Riker.
Allie, what's your favorite piece of memorabilia? I feel like I should know this. Oh, to answer the second part of the question, what I would love more than anything, and I'm saving up my pennies for, is a replica of the TOS era red, the monster maroon uniform with the little, the little white patch that comes across here. Yeah, so that's the ultimate thing that I would love to have.
That would be awesome. So my partner's going to get her.
So we get I always think of these like little weird things of like between these connections between this and Star Trek Picard, but in Star Trek Picard we've lost Data and Riker is miserable, and in this we've lost Counselor Troy. She died.
Yeah.
And it's the other way around in Picard. It's almost like Data kind of somehow meta subconsciously sacrificed himself so that Troy could live. Which is a crazy thing. I don't know.
That is very deep. I would not have thought about that.
That's just one of those weird random things that I come up with.
You have very good memory for these details. I once, when I was a kid, wanted to be Commander Riker for Halloween.
Oh, you could pull off a great Commander Riker.
Well, I didn't have a beard then, obviously, but the Pasteur. I love the ship design.
Look,
cool. Oh,
it's here.
There's
And this,
Crusher. I see her inside your ship.
I know, Captain Crusher. This is a great scene. I think her bridge is a little not as grand as I would like it to be, but I do love the ship and that
Yeah,
scene.
it's a very cool ship. It's not like terribly aerodynamic, but I guess you don't have to be in space.
Oh my god, they're so to each other. So, by the way, Gates McFadden has aged way better than her fake age
Yes,
thing here.
agreed.
Here, she looks like really like kind of motherly or grandmotherly, I should say. And in real life, Gates McFadden, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, Miss McFadden, but is a hot lady. She's a babe.
Hold on. Oh. Well aged.
She aged. They didn't predict her aging correctly in this episode.
Do you think? Oh, interesting. Little connection there. So they do get married, and then they did not get married.
Right. Exactly.
That was a bad idea. She doesn't like wine that much, so she prefers sherry or something in that little glass that she keeps knocking over and causing effect.
Look, they argue like a married couple, though.
They do.
Ah. Here they're all like kind of worried and freaked out.
Yeah.
No more damn tests. That's it.
No tests.
It's interesting. Here's where we find out that they are in a separate timeline or something because they don't remember him talking about it in the past. So it's interesting how this works. And I think someone said that this was the inspiration for how they did time travel in Avengers Endgame, which I'm still
really?
trying to figure out.
I have not gotten into the Avengers stuff, movies, so
I like how around at this point in the episode, it starts to get a little faster paced. Darren. Hello, Darren. Darren has the Stargazer. Oh, I wish we could see a picture of it.
Stargazer is good.
I don't have that model. So Jean-Luc's still figuring it all out. It's crazy that we are, by the way, audience, if you want to join in on the fun, you can fast forward to 38 minutes into the episode. So here's where Jean-Luc figures out it's Q and he keeps yelling. He finally yells, he's like, Q, this has gone on long enough.
Do you think that they replaced the comm seats because they were too slouchy? They look like they're like in Lazy Boys. They're just kind of like hanging out, doing their thing up here.
I think so. I think that has something to do with it.
But may not be great for the back.
Or it might be actually. What, that curvature? No, I guess that curvature is not good for you. Here it is. This is it. We're finally here. Oh my gosh.
Shift in it. All right. This time the FX were better, so you didn't see the crane put a look of it.
That's true.
Unlike Encounter Per Point.
So good.
I actually do love Q as a character. I would love to see him come back in Picard.
I would too. How can you top this though?
No, I mean, it's true.
Like, why would Q come back? That's the tough question. That's a hard question, but I would like to see him come back too. I propose that in season 2 of Picard, Q comes back and turns one of the episodes into a musical, so that's like just a fun thing he does, and all of a sudden it's the first musical episode of Star Trek, which would be a fun
I
thing
would
to
be
do.
okay as a theater nerd and a Star Trek fan. I would be okay with that.
Nice. Maybe that could be something we work on. We work on together.
Well, Buffy did it really successfully, so you know.
Allie says that her husband got her the QMX Spock and Kirk figures. Ooh, the captain's. Wait, do you have like the
Like
full
actual
chair, like the actual chair? I think so.
is
Or is
that
it like a little captain's chair? Is it like a little captain's chair? Or is it like, do you have like the TOS cat? I want, that's cool.
it was the big one and it's just like hanging out in the living room.
I would like Q's little throne here in my room. That might be a fun thing to have as a piece of memorabilia or prop.
Okay.
So here Q's teasing him, helping him figure it out.
Do you think they brought back any of the original extras?
Oh, in this scene? That's a good thing to find out. I bet Memory Alpha knows. We'll have to look it up.
I started, as I've been watching the episodes again, going to IMDb and looking at all the like the goofs and the interesting facts about some of these episodes.
Yeah.
There's some very funny ones.
Ali says no, it's a 1/6 scale. I wish for a full size though. I know you deserve a full size. We should we should figure it. We should try to figure out a way to get you one. Voyager never did a musical episode with Bob Picardo as the EMH. Yeah, he's really great. And he does sing. He gets to sing on the show, so that would have been a great thing to do. Picard can do it. Or Discovery. I'd be down for Q coming on Discovery that and doing that too.
Oh yeah, he could come into Discovery.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's Q. Like, why does he?
There'll be 800 years in the future, so
Yeah, but he could have. He could also go back, even if Discovery was set in the past. Q could have visited TOS era crews, just not Kirk and Spock and crew, you know. And so, it's possible.
Maybe he will with the new Star Trek show.
Oh wait, but supposedly Picard is the first Q contact. That's right. So, but now he could. So you're right. You're right. Q the first. That's right. An encounter for Farpoint. That's their first encounter with him too. So
yeah.
But yeah, Discovery can do it now, like you said, 100%. Would you guys like to see Q on Star Trek Discovery? Anyone who's watching, what do you think? I put these up sometimes so we don't have to keep repeating ourselves. Isn't that cool?
So, learning all these new things about these live streaming.
I know, it's really fun. It's fun to experiment. It's also my first like live rewatch with a friend on. This is cool. Lots of people are doing this Netflix party thing and stuff. Let's see here.
Trelane from TOS.
Trelane from TOS. No, a lot of people suspect he is, but we don't know officially. But I am in the camp that Trelane could have been a Q. I kind of agree with that. But there is like this thing where Q's just refer to them as Q, and so since Trelane doesn't, there's an interesting story there. Like, is he a renegade Q? Like, you know, I'd love for him to be tied into the Q continuum, though. What do you think, Blair?
I'm trying to remember Trelane as a character. I don't.
The Squire of Gothos. He's
right.
playing the chord. He's very like, you know, very flamboyant, and you'll have to watch it.
Yeah, I have to rewatch it. It's been a while since I've seen the original series episodes.
Great question. Ali, always coming in with the great. I really appreciate you so much.
Great way to wake up in Japan.
God you believe in, have mercy on your soul. That's the line that just happened. This court stands adjourned. And now Picard's like, oh shit. It's still happening. The trial never ended. All 7 seasons of Star Trek Next Generation was the same episode. Judith's here. Oh my gosh.
Robert Picardo Discovery instead of.
I think he would be great at Discovery as well. I agree. I want to see all of them come back in some way. By the way, we'll do a time check. If you guys want to turn on Star Trek The Next Generation's All Good Things, we're at 45 minutes and 18 seconds right now. 45 minutes, 18 seconds, 19, 20, 21.
Trelane was supposed to return and encounter Farpoint? Oh.
Ooh, this is something I was not aware of. I'd love a link to an article, or just tell us about it while you're here. Expand on that. That's curious. First time I'm hearing that. That I know. I think Q was written by Gene Roddenberry as like they didn't have enough. Something was with the time. They decided to extend it from a 1 hour to a 90-minute, or from 45 minutes to 90 minutes. And so they had to do something. And Gene Roddenberry wrote Q at the last minute, but that's how I understood it to be. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So Q was just a lark. Q came in like Q. He just came out of nowhere. Q's
perfect. I mean, they really cast that perfectly. John Delancey is amazing.
Here's Data calling Q a stalker. Interesting. He is always
kind of is a little bit.
Or actually, he actually thinks of Picard as a pet, which is really funny. Trelane wouldn't have kept returning, I'm guessing. Q thinking of Picard as a pet. Picard should counteract with, well, I'm a cat, because cats actually rule their owners. It's the other way around. Hologram writes, it would be a great topic to cover in Picard after episodes like Latent Image and Author.
Yeah.
100% agree. Allie, you wouldn't feel like synth rights and holo rights too close together, or do you like that the two of those things would be in effect? Hey, it's Worf.
He's back, and he's looking old. He's a little conditioner in the hair.
Yeah, he let his hair go.
Just love it.
Worf is so sad here. I hope he's not sad when we see him again in Picard.
It'd be great to have him back.
What do you think he's up to in the Picard world?
Well, he would have been on. Yeah, he was on DS9, and then he was.
That's the last time.
He came back. No, he didn't seem.
Well, he gets back to the Enterprise, right? And Nemesis. Yeah. And then I don't think they made an excuse in that one. Like he just already was research, because before they would always do something like, "Oh, Worf is visiting from DS9 or something," right? Yeah, I'd love to know what he's doing. Here it says he's an ambassador.
I bet you he did. He probably went back to the Klingon homeworld and became like some sort of ambassador. It's very mad there.
As far as I know, Cecil, Worf is not confirmed for Picard, so that's just a hope, not a. Not a.
It's just Guinan right now. I think she's the only one, right, that they've confirmed.
What's that?
I think Guinan's the only one that's been confirmed.
And I think LeVar Burton dropped a strong hint that he's. Yeah, a really hint that he's possibly in it.
He's like, I'm basically in it, guys.
He's like, I can't tell you if I'm in it or not, but I'm in it, y'all. He really chewed Worf out there in that scene, but he got his way.
Yep.
Who would say no to Jean-Luc Picard?
What's that?
Who would say no to Jean-Luc? Why would you ever say no to Jean-Luc?
Well, apparently all of Starfleet did. Picard.
I feel like they could operate in tangent. It is strange that we don't see it all in Picard season 1. I'm wondering if the suppression of synth rights went hand in hand with hologram rights. We see the Rios holograms, but not a hologram quite as interactive as the image. It is a big question. What is the the EMH's fate. Dr. Zimmerman specifically, and those like it. He became an ambassador at the end of DS9. Oh, I didn't realize that. Nemesis ruined that. Just security back on.
Wah, wah. I feel so again, watching all these seasons or episodes back to back, poor Worf gets shot down all the time. He never catches a break. He's always like, we should do this. And everyone's like, no, there, Worf. Like, as head of security, I feel like he should have a bigger say in what happens. I mean, he is a bit reactionary and just sort of like, lasers, shoot them down. It's like, okay.
What about, so he's also kind of not the best dad in TNG. I think he gets better in DS9, but he's kind of a terrible dad in TNG, which is he is a bum. He's written not that great. He gets
this is a great like
that they like. Stock footage from Encounter at Farpoint.
He looks so bizarre there.
It's so good. It's amazing how much Marina Sirtis, Denise Crosby, and Gates McFadden look like themselves from 7 years ago and can easily be themselves from 7 years ago.
No, Ellie's got to get up.
Briggs couldn't fit back into the tight suit. I think he had, and he looks great, by the way. He'd gained quite a bit of muscle.
He couldn't shave his beard off.
And he couldn't shave.
Ellie has to leave.
Bye, Ellie.
Have a great morning in Japan.
Yes.
Konnichiwa. Sayonara.
Joining us, Allie. I can't wait till your next Trek Tuesday towel chat. So I'll try to be on it for the next one as well. Was anyone else surprised that Rios' hollows didn't serve a purpose at the end of Picard? One of them should have helped to save the day, at least in a minor way. No, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
They were entertaining, but they weren't as like, there were a few moments where I felt like they seemed sentient. And I think there was one moment where I felt sorry for them because of how Rios treated them, but I wasn't surprised or disappointed that they didn't play a bigger part in the conclusion.
I did really like that one scene with like all of them together trying to figure out what.
That was a really great scene. It's true. I like them generally as characters. I thought it was also awesome that Santiago Cabrera could actually pull off playing many different characters and interacting with them and stuff like that. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I heard that too. That Rios was potentially a hologram. But
that was interesting to think about, but I didn't want it to happen. So I'm glad that is not the case.
Yeah.
So just in case you're wondering where we're at, anyone watching along live, we are currently at 53-17-20, and there's an anomaly on the screen in all three time zones. Jude says that the narrative payoff for the holograms was to help Rafi put the conspiracy together. And yes, Cabrera is amazing. Cheers, I agree. Old man Picard. But the anomaly's not in the future. I was wrong. It's only in the other two timelines. I remembered it wrong. A la Edward Furlong. Wait. Maybe that would have been too similar to Trek Renegades. I haven't seen Renegades, but I want to.
Okay, yeah.
But what Ella Edward Furlong? I'm trying to. Oh, speaking of Renegades, they are Renegades right now. The Pasteur.
Indeed.
So here they're all together except Troy and Riker. And in Star Trek Picard Season 1, everyone else is absent except Troy and Riker. and data. So another, not a parallel, but like, what do you call that? Like a switch? It's a switch parallel, right? Like in one timeline, this was the case, in the other timeline, that was the case. Whoa, sorry. I just so unprofessional, as Sean likes to
So unprofessional.
point out. I just my mic everywhere.
So let's talk about set design for a second. I have to say that I really love the design of the bridges in Discovery, and like how the view screen is like the entire wall, as opposed to these like little tiny screens that everyone seems to look at. It's obviously different time period.
Even though it doesn't with like the original series, like it's weird that they go from these expansive screens to then they decide, oh yeah, like we're not going to use that anymore. I do have to say that like that is a design that I would love to see more of in future Starfleet ships, because it is gorgeous to see a screen that big. Like, if I just think it serves a practical purpose too. You want to have as panoramic a view as you can.
But you would think so, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So I find it funny sometimes how there are moments when they're like, put it on view screener.
That. Sorry. Oh no, Cecil, who's in the audience, Cecil Goulding, was explaining what he meant by Edward Furlong, because I haven't seen Renegade. So,
okay.
But thank you. Now I know.
The more you know.
Oh, this is where she tells him that it's all in your mind.
So wait, he would have known.
Well, no, he knew he had it, but she's like telling him right now that
like,
basically you're imagining all this time travel stuff. It's not really happening. Right. It's so sad.
It's sad.
It's neat that we get like, what do you think in Picard, like his experiences with Data felt like this kind of thing, like that almost that he was time traveling and speaking to Data's actual consciousness somehow.
Yeah.
In Picard?
Yeah.
More than just a dream, right? Like it feels like this vibe of where he's like traveling to another dimension or something and speaking to Data, like when he has his interactions with him, and Data's kind of guiding him along to find the answer, like Soji and Daj, and kind of leading him to him in a sense to find him at the end.
It would be really cool to sit down with the writers and just sort of be like, all right, tell us the process. Where did you like pull in, little storylines and things just to tie it all together? And I'm sure there's a lot more there that is like very subtle that we didn't.
That no one's discovered yet. Like true. Michael Chabon is very generous. He gave a lot of information on Instagram in a series of tweets that he would do, like answering questions, and I looked that up. I thought it was really great. But I agree. I wish I could like have like time with them to just hang out. I always joke about this, but it's really not a joke. I would love to be like the barista on the Star Trek set, like
craft services,
helping out wherever I can. Everyone needs a good cup of coffee when they're writing. It's like an important thing. So
it's true. It's very true.
I could do that really well.
I was a PA on a TV show here for a summer, and the interesting thing about the show was that it was filmed in the morning and it went to air that night. So it was very relevant to what was going on. It was mostly improvised, but I had to be the first one in the studio at 4:30 a.m. or 5 a.m. to get the coffee going and get all the snacks out for the actors and the writers. so
awesome.
So they live off of.
I'm bringing it back to a question relevant. I wrote the Q on Discovery question, but favorite scene in All Good Things. I think it's coming up for me. Is this whole like last sequence where they figure out what's going on, and Picard, the whole climax of this is like probably my favorite.
So will all the Enterprises show up? Yeah.
No. It's
No, no.
the three Enterprises are
Oh,
working
yes.
together.
Sorry.
But you're thinking of another episode, which is where all the Enterprises show up and Riker's like crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but here it's just the way that it's like such a, I referred to it the Christmas Carol earlier, but it's the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future, right? And it's a warning to Jean-Luc in ways of what could be if they're not careful, if they don't, kind of
Yeah,
do things.
100%. I think my favorite scene, and it's kind of obvious, but the very last scene I think is like one of the loveliest things, right? To have him
Sit at the
join
table
the
and
crew, and then the nice overhead shot.
that's actually the best scene, hands down. Absolutely right. I totally forgot. Yeah, you might actually see me cry on live when we get to that scene. What about you guys tuning in at home? By the way, we are currently at 1 hour, 1 minute, 15 seconds. We're doing good here. I mean, time's going by pretty quickly here. We must be traveling up and down our timeline. But what is your favorite
Okay.
good things? They call this the anti-time, by the way.
Yeah.
This whole thing that happened.
Rapsha.
I think
100 million kilometers is huge.
it's true. They even like retrograded the set to look a little bit more like season 1.
Yeah, they put the wood paneling in. They took off the detail on the back of his chair.
You know why the anomaly's not in the future? The Enterprise isn't there. But not for long. This is so good. These future Klingon ships look awesome too. I hope we
do.
every. This battle's great. Everyone kind of has like their hair up on the Pasteur. No one keeps their hair down. It's interesting. So, if All Good Things, the episode is in a nutshell, Star Trek Picard, this also parallels in a weird way because someone who comes to save the day.
Right. Yes, that's true. I haven't thought about that. I do like the modifications that they've made to the ship. It's much more like a warship now.
This is such a tense scene, and she's playing it great.
What do you think her maiden name is? Because she went from Crusher to Picard. What was?
It's
what?
Really Howard. Yeah, it's in the episode where she has sex with a ghost.
Oh God, Sub Rosa.
Sub Rosa.
I think that's the worst episode in the entire series.
What's that one in season 1? I always blank out on the name. Something of Honor. Code of Honor is the worst. The worst one. It's the planet where everyone dresses like.
Oh yeah, that one's terrible. Yeah. It really like. I don't know what the costume designer was thinking there. But, oh, here she is.
Oh.
3 warp missiles.
There he is, angry Riker. I'm glad Riker is like such a nice dad in Star Trek Picard.
Yeah.
Look at that. Those are special effects for TV. I mean, I know they've been remastered, but they looked that good back then too. Good. Such a good episode. I think it cast a long shadow over the story development of Generations. How do the same 2 writers such a good finale?
That's very true.
I like that they're able to beam out the entire ship. Like everyone on the whole ship just got beamed out at the same that's how
Yeah.
powerful the transporters are in the future. Which transporters in the future are pretty cool. You could just walk through like it's a gate or something.
But
Cool.
how do they know where to go?
They
They
just
like
know.
yell at the transporter before you get there. I want to go to Starbucks.
It's true. I think you like think about, you can have like technology that like uses thoughts. This is where you see how sad their relationship is.
Yeah.
This is a dark future. I think Picard is less dark than this future, to be honest.
You think so?
People talk about Star Trek Picard being a darker Star Trek future, but I don't think so. I actually think this is a darker future that they're showing us here. At least for these guys.
She just happens to have a hypo spray with her.
I know, it's crazy. Oh. And then he wakes back up. That was a cool transition.
It's very good editing on this one.
Really great editing. It has to be. I mean, this is the finale, right? It has to be like the best. They have to put it all, and I think they deliver on that. They like really did a good job. Cecil, I agreed, by the way, 100% with your comment. This is such a good thing. I love these.
This is sad though.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about this. But it doesn't happen, thank goodness.
No. Well, I read this on IMDb that I think it was Nurse Ogawa. She was up for the role of, oh god, I think it was either Deanna or Tasha, because there are two female characters in there. But she was originally
from all the way in the beginning.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it was. I saw it. There was I thought I sent it to you. I'll find it and send it to you. But it's like a list of all the actors that they had originally were looking to cast for all the characters.
Yeah, I've seen that somewhere, but I forgot about it. That's right. Yeah, I'd love to see that again.
I think Keiko's on it too. I think she was on the list, or maybe it was Keiko. Not. Yeah.
Oh, it might have been her. What's her name? The actor.
Rosalind Chow.
Who?
Rosalind Chow. Cho.
Yes, thank you. Rosalind Cho. I think it's Cho, but yeah, Rosalind Cho.
Let's see if I can find that.
I always like to check when people give time. We're at 1 hour and 8 minutes right now. So anyone who wants to sync up with us, we're watching TNG All Good. A great time with my friend Blair, Captain Blair. Blah. Captain Blair. Oh, there he is. It's John Delancey. I thought it was cute that his son is played by his son.
Oh yes, yeah. That's
really cool. Baby Q.
Baby Q. This is kind of an interesting, like, I'm going to show you the moment where all life on Earth started, except it didn't. Sorry about that.
That is so cool. In this darker All Good Things timeline, she's probably...
Has she been assimilated at this point? Oh, in the future timeline.
Yeah, and so, but who knows? Who knows what she's doing around this time, though? It's true. She's probably still serving on the Voyager. She might be captain of the Voyager. I don't know. We know what she's doing in whatever you call the prime timeline, the Picard. but we don't know what she's doing in the anti-time timeline. That'd be a cool novel or a side project. There it is. That's where we were all created, folks. Q is showing us. Picard's looking. Q has no problem just sticking his hand in there.
I know. It's like, well, now we screwed it up. Now we can't be made.
Yeah, it's true. I think that should have been green goo. It's too clear. It's like too clean looking.
How can you see them? They're like microscopic.
Cecil says, imagine if Data had the skunk hair look during his last scene in Picard. Would have been a very
Yes.
inspired Easter egg. It's true. I like that he called it the skunk hair. Come on, there's actually a word for it. There's actually that's a proper condition of gray hair that lots of people have. And I don't think it's called skunk hair. By the way, that comes from a birthmark. So Data would have faked it because Data can't have birthmarks. And it is considered distinguished.
He would have gone to Mott's to get his hair did and been like, can you just put a streak here?
I think male hair color patterns as we age is so interesting because we also get it on our faces if we grow a beard. Yes, it's true. It's very cool.
I call these when they first came in. I called them my fangs because they were just like.
Cecil, that was a funny comment. The Daystrom Institute gets a mention. Yay, Allie. Another shout out to Allie, who's in Japan. We pretend that Allie works at the Daystrom Institute, by the way. That's her.
Do you ever think, like, in the future, when they create places and we're in space, all that kind of stuff, they're like, well, we're going to call this the Daystrom Institute because it was a show.
If I had an immense fortune by the time I'm, ready to pass on to the next life, I might create an institute and have it named the Daystrom Institute, and then titled the Sohail Fazludin and whatever institute.
That'd be fun.
What is the equivalent to the Daystrom Institute in real life? I always think of MIT. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. That's a good correlation.
What do you guys think in the audience? What is the real life Daystrom Institute in your mind? How do you spell Daystrom? O-M, right?
Is it D-A-Y-S-T-R-O-N?
I think it is. If it's wrong, I'll be told.
It's too bad Guinan didn't make an appearance in this episode.
She had last episode in season 6, so she hasn't been in season 7 at all, which was I didn't know that until this rewatch that I've been doing with these podcasts, and so I was really surprised about that. I don't know how I always thought she made it till the end, but I guess it's because Generations flows so well into this, and she's back in Generations. So in my mind, I just was like, "Oh, Guinan's never disappeared." But yeah, it was a surprise to be sure. But yeah, when you guys get to this season 6, you'll see she has her last episode, and then after that, she's not back. She's not back.
The end of the movies, everyone.
Yeah, like what happened? Did Sister Act happen? Like, want to know what happened? Like that she didn't come back for season 7.
That's a good question.
That beard looks fake for some reason.
It looks fun.
His beard looks fake. Riker's beard in the scene.
Not the greatest makeup.
It's like those spray cans, like when you spray on the white makeup for
a lot of age spots on that forehead.
They all aged better than their makeup aging suggested they would. So kudos to all the crew. Ooh, that guy's very easy on the eye. Yay, PJ's here. We're at, just so you know, we are at 1 hour 15 minutes of all good things. So if you want to line up your version of it, I'll give you another timestamp in a minute. But that's where we're at. We're in 10 forward, and Picard's in. It's so sad that no one listens to Jean-Luc, but like you said, it's the same. It's the same in Star Trek Picard.
Where you can see his beard. You can see the makeup's not great in this. I also thought the lighting of these tables was always terrible, especially on Beverly. Like, it's such a
right. It's not
light. Yeah.
The chicken and the egg. I like that he's like rambling on about the chicken and the egg. Which came first, Will?
Who crossed the street first?
Cross the road, Will. Data figures it out.
Maybe.
I love that, Cecil. Very nice interpretation of Q. I think John Delancey would like that as well. You should post that on Twitter if you're on Twitter. I love that Data comes up with the solution, and then now Geordi's adding to it, and it's like now Picard finally has allies. Picard's like, I don't understand. Yes, that's it. No, I'm just kidding. He understands. Everyone's coming around. This is such a hype moment.
Ricker's like, oh, fine. We'll do it.
Look at him in his admiral. Looks pretty good.
I just had a drink given to me.
He has this moment where he's like, come on, Worf. I need you.
Come on, pal. Back to the phaser banks for you.
I can't cry. I'm not allowed to cry on this live stream. Starfleet Boy has never cried on the live stream.
It is a very nice episode.
1 minute, 1 hour 17 minutes. 1 hour 18 minutes, rather, I should say. So we're back in the Devron system, and there's the anomaly where it should be, right? Is that what happens? Yes, he was right. There it is. I love all the shots too. The angles are great. Like, it is really like a great ribbon on top of a series. This finale.
It's true.
This is where the editing starts to just get crazy. Like the back and forth are like really smooth, and like the lines almost kind of bleed into each other, which is really cool.
Yeah. Do it.
Do it. It is imperative. I don't use that word often enough in real life.
Do you not have a lot of imperative things that are happening?
I guess not. I love that the badges are kind of very similar. I'm wearing the Picard era badge. and it looks a lot like the anti-time future badge.
I like
By
that.
the way,
badge.
that's a Fansets. You can go get this at fansets.com if you want your own.
Nice.
This is such good editing, like the way that he was saying the same thing in one timeline and then he's saying it again in another timeline. It just like cuts right to the continuation.
So it also speaks to the
This
actors.
this scene, dude, I love this part. This I love this.
Worf. Huh?
I think Worf and Tasha would have been a thing.
You can see that. I didn't see that.
They don't even know him and they're totally inspired by him because of this.
This is excellent.
Yes, we'll die
okay,
for
sure. We literally met you 20 minutes ago, but okay.
Look at Troy. She's like, what the F? Like,
She's like, where's the escape pod? I'm just gonna. Okay.
I love him. Look, it's happening. I'm crying. They just don't even say anything. They just go to their positions and do it. I love it. This is so Star Trek. Take us in, Chief.
He's like, I'm not a chief.
And now we get to see it from the perspective of a crew that already knows what he. Look at him. He's just like. You can't really appreciate that, I don't think, if you just watch this episode without having watched the whole series. Like what just happened there was like super epic.
Yeah.
And here we go, classic battle, not a real battle like with ships, but like a battle for time, for space, for the future.
For the future of humanity.
Yeah, true. It's like the ultimate battle. Whoever all these like very attractive extras are that get to be in these like they're really lucky.
There they are.
They are. They all get a preview. D's going to look like. Of course, it's not going to be there in the real future.
What do you think the third nacelle does? Like, does it push them past warp 9 point?
I think it's just increase energy output because the more the Bizarre collectors can scoop, the more they can convert into that. But I don't know about warp. As far as warp fields are concerned, I bet it gives it a little boost as well. It's like nitro. I don't know.
Oh.
Oh. Aw.
God, they really put their trust in him, and then he blew up the ship.
He's like, I know you're all gonna die. Oh,
That's the
yeah, when to go. This is so good.
What will you finish it? Oh.
There's the line. All good things must come to an end. Goodbye, Jean-Luc.
Goodbye. Oh, goosebumps.
I know, me too. So good. Look at him. He's facepalm. That's the ultimate facepalm.
Just blew up 3 ships. Yep. I'd be okay with that.
For those who are just last or watching and want to make sure you're synchronized, we're at 1:25:42. We're at the home stretch. Blair, thanks for sticking in it. You did it. This shot's really great too.
It is.
There's Q admitting.
Why don't they hug? Why don't they just go in for a little hug?
Look, John Luke is kind of like. He didn't say the last time I see you though.
Mm.
Uh-oh. Too.
I agree, Cecil.
Well done, Cecil Goulding. You got it up there.
Oh.
That's it.
I like that moment of like, oh, no.
You'll find out. We do find out. There's the promise. He says, I'll drop by from time to time. So hopefully we'll see Q again. This is like the Christmas Carol, going back to that parallel.
Yeah.
Like Scrooge the morning of. It's like a subtle one. It's not as crazy.
It's true. There's no little Timmy.
Tiny Tim. It's Data. It's Data. Tiny Tim is Data. No.
Okay. Ooh. It's chilly in here.
Yes, you can. It's like
so good.
This is the last scene of Star Trek: The Next Generation. The last shot. It's coming up. Oh my god, the last. Ugh.
It's such a great eyes. I always love that with Data. His little eyes. Mm.
This is so epic that they're talking about this.
Mm-hmm. Data with the logic.
It's true.
The Vulcan of TNG.
And it does. It's so different from this anti-time future. It was cool to see it, the difference between what actually happens and what could have happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's really neat to revisit this now in the time of Picard.
Yeah. Oh.
They all like
You're getting a little emotional about this.
If there's room, of course.
Cozy on up.
This is like one of the rare times that it almost feels like the only time Jean-Luc shows regret, like true regret, is in this moment. Oh, where are
It's
you
also
going?
like kudos to the writers. Like this is a brilliant way just to sort of like the fact that he was never in a card game, and I'm sure they didn't think about that when they were writing the episodes. But it's such a lovely way to end it.
It really is. There's that line. I should have done this a long time ago.
Sky's the limit. Beautiful pan out.
Oh my gosh. Blair, get your tissues out.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's really dusty in here.
The Enterprise looks so beautiful in this scene, and it's reminiscent with the nebula there of how we see her again in Star Trek Picard.
Yeah, no, that's so really lovely.
Everyone who was with us on the live version of this stream, thank you so much. We really appreciated having company while we did this. Anyone who's watching afterwards, who's going to watch this as it airs, now it's the recorded version. I hope you enjoy our commentary and watching and reminiscing with us. Blair, I'm so honored that you did this. It was like an impromptu ask, and I appreciate it because today is, in fact, the 26th anniversary of this episode. And it's very special to me because, I mean, I'm not quite on time with it as I would have liked to have been, but I think it's forgivable. In 2020, we all had setbacks, but I was hoping to finish my TNG rewatch journey officially today as well. And I have something really nice and like kind of big and produced planned to be released. I hope to release it by the end of this month. So relatively speaking, we're there, but I'm honored that I got to hallmark the actual event today with this live stream. So
thank you for having me. It's so much fun.
You to watch these things with. So thank you.
It's my pleasure. I didn't bring out my phaser as much as I wanted to, but
well, I know you. I think you have to go, right?
I do.
Do you have any closing thoughts you can give before we go, or anything you want to promote to the audience? Have them go somewhere.
Not that I can think of right now. I think it's just this is always so much fun. It's really great to be able to like talk to other Trekkies, and I love how much this has continued on, and that 26 years has passed, and it's still almost as relevant as it was back then as it is today. Right? The stories they're universal stories. They will always be around. And I think it's a really lovely that we get to talk about this, though.
Well put. I agree. This has been a surprise for me in so many ways, and I'm honored. I think we'll close on Cecil Goulding's sentiment, which is thank you guys. Please keep it up. We will. There's more to come. There's a lot more to come. So everybody live long and prosper. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.